And we're live. All right, hey everybody, and welcome to today's stream where we are going to continue building stuff for this scene, but at the same time building stuff that we can reuse in different scenes, because from what we kind of got to an arrangement was instead of making a new scene or starting a new scene, we're gonna spend a stream just creating stuff that we can reuse in different types of scenes. So we're gonna build some filler objects for today's stream. Pardon. What this means is that oh well. Alright, as I was saying, what this means is that we want to create some items that can be used to fill up a scene so it doesn't look so empty. Like, for example, stuff that would go on some of these shelves, stuff that we can put on maybe over here on the tables, or some of the shelves that we have in the bedroom area, or maybe even something that would go in the kitchen, not the kitchen, but the bathroom. So generally things that you would use in a house or whatever the scene might be. So today is mostly going to be you guys giving me some ideas, and then we're going to take those ideas, make them into 3D models, prep them up, and we're going to have them ready to be used in this scene and future scenes that we might create. So pretty much everything. Okay, as always, we're gonna use the Discord channel to share some ideas. So if you want to share your ideas, check the well, if you're new to the channel, that is, check the description of the stream and you will see the details about our Discord channel in there. So go over there, click in, you're gonna come over to the Discord channel, and in here you have a couple of different channels. Just go down to the streaming related one and drop in your ideas here or your links, and we can start from there. There we go. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is, like I said, I want to address this middle part over here, and because it kind of looks too open. So the ideal thing over here, since this is a very small place, I would use something like a hanging one of those well, I don't know how the hell this thing is called, but yeah, it's one of these, like the lights that are actually a sort of a AC cooler. So one of these lights that has these fins. I like both of these, so I like the designs. This one is more of the casual type of look, something you would find, and this on the other hand looks a bit more interesting, but we can make any of these. I don't think they're that complicated. Okay, we have Sarah sharing some things for the kitchen. Yeah, we can create something like this. This is simple. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, those are fine. You know what? What we can do for stuff like this, just so we don't have to actually have to go in and create all of these individually and then simulate them inside, what we can do is we can cheat a bit. We can create just one of the containers, then put offset the inside a bit on the inside, and then make an interior that has the same geometry and put a texture on it, which will be hidden at the top. So you're gonna get the illusion that this thing is filled with whatever that we want to place as a texture. But we'll see. All right, so that's some good ideas. Okay, this is the other one that I liked. So I do want to make one of these. So what do you guys say? Do we go with the first one or do we go with the second one? They're both pretty similar, so it shouldn't be that hard. Which one do you like more? The top one or the bottom one? Come on, let me see some comments. All right, let's see what else we have here. Hey, what do you know? This one isn't bad either, you know. This is not going to be just for the micro apartment live stream, but this is going to be generally for all for this stream plus the future one. So on this stream, we will be building the elements that we can reuse. So if we build one of these guys, we can reuse it later on a different scene if we want. If we build something like, come on, just scroll down. This thing, we can reuse it in any kitchen. So yeah, pretty much something like that. All right, so we have one saying top one saying bottom one. I'm a more fan of this one. This one is the same thing, just you need to offset it a bit. So let's see what we're being shared right now. Ooh, this is modern thing. All right, we can make something like this even. Actually, like these. All right, let's create a couple of these, and we can just. Hey, Valentina's here. Happy Valentine's Day, Valentina. So it's your name day. Okay, so for this, just so I can like save this thing first, I'm gonna start a new scene, and in there we're gonna start creating some of the stuff. And as soon as we create one, I will go back and just re-import it in here. So I'm gonna go new. All right, reset this thing. Yes, I want to reset. All right, awesome. So let me check this thing. Where did it go? There we go. So we're gonna go with which one? The black one. What is this? All right. So now what did we come to an agreement? Which one are we building? We have this one, and these two. Which one are we going for? Leave your votes. Come on. 1, 2, 3, or 4. So this is 1, this is 2, this is number 3, and this is number 4. Which one are we going for? All right, so black one, number 4. Number 4. All right, number 3. All right, so we got number 4, number 3. Still, there's fewer people than usual, but I guess it's Valentine's, so people are with their significant others and not sitting at home watching at YouTube. All right, well then I'll go with this one first, and then we can go on with this one as well. So it's simple. It shouldn't take that much time. So let's go ahead and do the 4th one, and it's really gonna be like this is from what I'm seeing here. This is a very, very simple one. And you'll see how simple it is right now. So I'm gonna go with cylinder. Cylinder, let's give it a range of, I don't know, 15, but yeah, 15 should be right. 15 centimeter radius means about 30 centimeters in diameter. So let's go ahead and do this. And we have how many sides? We have 1, 2, 3, 18, so 6. All right. Edit poly on top of this thing. And this is what I want to do. I'm going to take 1, skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So since we have 18 sides and this thing has 3 fins on it, what we need to do is when we're here, we want to select those and extrude them out like this. And now it's going to be a bit screwy, but we can just fix that. Just delete, select those guys. Now select everything else in here as well, like this. We don't need that. Select that. All right. So what we have here, all right, just flip this. We have just one of these left. And now, if I go ahead and rotate this thing 180, or 120 actually, make 2 copies. Yeah, I get this thing as it should be, but I actually want to make him a copy. I just want to make them as an instance. So when I work on one, I can see the effect happening on all of them. All right, cool. So now what I want to do here is I want to select this edge over here and want to do something like so, maybe like this. And this one I can see that it's actually flat on the bottom like this, and scale it inwards like so. But before I actually start scaling stuff, I just saw something. This thing being as it is, I do want to extrude one more on this side like this, and now scale this thing downwards 180, scale it inwards like that. It's probably not that small, but there we go, like this. Put it down to the ground like so. Select this thing, and I want to have a gradual turn from there, so I'm going to set the flow. Well, the set flow here won't work, so I'm going to have to do a bit of more geometry. There we go. All right. Let's start twisting this thing a bit. Wait a second, something is weird here. Oh yeah. I think I have a double. Let me weld. Yep, I got one extra. Okay. Oh, there we go. That's the extra one. Do I have one extra here as well? Oh, yeah. All right, now let's move these more in line. Like we have it here, here, here. The turn right here is a bit too sharp, so just pull it backwards. Add in some extra geometry, holding down the shift, adding in those edges. We'll add those edges, but with the added set flow. All right, so this is a bit weird when it turns like this. There you go. And almost there. Okay, turbo smooth on. We get something like this, which is definitely not what we want. Damn it. Alright, so I need to make this thing a lot more outwards and needs to go way out. Something like this. I made it way too small. Which kind of makes sense though. So let's get this, set to flow. Set flow. It's always the same thing. When you create something and you think it's gonna end up being something very, very simple, it kind of turns around and nips you in the butt. So you end up spending more time than you thought you were going to spend. There we go. Now let me see what else I have here. That's fine. Yo, turbo smooth now. Well, it's a variation of this one because I'm looking at this now. It kind of looks as though this is actually retaining the same size. The reason why I made this smaller was that I initially thought that this thing was getting tapered here, but from what I'm seeing right here, it's actually the same size all across. And the reason why I actually made it smaller was because I visually made a mistake. But anyways, we got something different because now it's kind of tapering off from the top. It doesn't look bad either. So let's go down, just try to fix this thing a bit. Go and set the flow. Set the flow. They shouldn't fix anything because this is the end cap. I just hit some of the set flows over here and we're gonna get a much more gradual turn like this. And there we go. Looking at this thing though, now it kind of looks like a turbine for a power generator or a wind generator. That's not bad. Not bad at all. There we go. All right, I'm gonna delete that. Select all of these, make them unique. Yes. Close it down. Now, on top of this thing, I'm going to delete that one and that one. Give this thing a shell. Make it 1 centimeter is fine. All right, now rotate this. How much do we need? 120. Actually, before we do that, let's just go. Tell you what, before I do any of this thing, I'm gonna save, because when I go back, usually Max likes to crash. So Twitch, call this oh, what are you gonna call this? Fan light. All right, so now 120, 2 iterations like this. Okay, and for this one, I'm actually gonna move this, or better yet, add in one edge in here, like so, and that edge is going to flip over to this side, which will allow me to now merge these two. So with that, I'm gonna select this piece in here and move it from there to here. All right. Now let's move this thing up to there. Move this piece and snap it to this side. All right, will it work like this? probably shouldn't have done that. So let's go back. Now, let's just merge this thing as one and go from there. So attach all of it as one. All right, attach those two and attach. Select all, weld them together. Click OK. All right, cool. Make it a shell. Yep, this is the thing that I was thinking about. So if we get it like this, now we just need to fix this connection in here. All right, so let's select this, delete this, and now we need to branch this thing out like this, and maybe like this. Go over here, delete, and go this border to this one and bridge them together. All right, check and see what the problem here is, and snap it up like this. Snap this thing up here, snap this thing up here, and there we go. Now we have this nice turn, which means I don't actually need this edge. Oh, backspace. What the hell? Ah, of course. Now these two. Weld them together. Now select this whole line, control backspace, remove it. Ah, really? Just delete that thing. Somehow something is still not fixed. Oh, of course it's not fixed, the bottom one. Alright. Okay, so what I did up here, I'm just gonna make it so it kinda affects. Oh, I cannot symmetry this thing, it's not symmetrical. Crap. Alright, did I fix it up? Yes, I did. Alright, let's see what I did up here. I fixed it all the way down to there. So in here, just it needs to snap up in here. Alright, so bridge this, delete this. It's one of those annoying things. Alright, so bridge this. Alright, now it's fixed. Just need to fix this thing and we're done. Now hold on, what the hell is this? It goes across, so we have a cap there. Why do I have it hanged on here and not on the top side? What is wrong? Or maybe I have a hang on here as well, or not? Nope. Oh no, I have an overlapping edge. Dude, what the hell? I knew that this day was gonna come, that I'm gonna run into something very simple like this. Yeah, there we go. Damn it. Okay, so now I can finally fix this. troubleshooting geometry in live streams. Amazing stuff. So bridge this, cap this, and now just move it around so it's no longer this weird looking hang-on. There we go. Now it's a quad. Alright, so just now copy this thing, or just select everything that's not fixed like this. And we're gonna go all the way up to like that, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's just delete this and see. So 120. 2 instances. And there we go. Now the geometry is everywhere. It's fixed, so go and make this thing unique. Yes, I want to make it unique. Attach it together. Attach. Weld with a very small amount. Alright, like this. Put on turbo smooth. No. So what the hell? Do I have a problem here? Yes, I do. So how come these guys are not welding? Do I have? Of course I do. Alright, so there is an edge where they meet. I have to fix that as well. So it should be everywhere now. Yes, it is. Yep, on the inside. And there should be one more over here. Nope, deleted that one. Maybe here. There we go. Let's see in here. Damn it. And weld again. Why is this thing not welding? Alright, I guess if this thing doesn't weld, there is an inner side to this thing. Oh, what the hell is that? Man. I don't believe that. I spent half an hour on this stream just troubleshooting some basic geometry. Fine, just remove all of this extra edging. That's fine. And now there's no more extra edges in there. Can you weld together? Yes, you can. Can you weld? Nope. Alright, so now delete that. Target weld this to this. So when I move this thing now, it moves correctly. I just need to fix this as well. Alright, this thing moves right. What about this one? Yeah, that one is fine. Third one, moving fine. So if I put a turbo smooth on, is it going to be a problem now? Well, relatively unproblematic, except for the corners here. So if I select this whole, damn it, still not. Why is, select everything, weld it together. All right. Let's try now. All right, so that edge is fine. This one is fine. This one is okay. So now all I need is just some support edges to hold these loops or these loops, and we can start to. Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna try and do something else. I'm gonna go and put some smoothing groups on it. Try and see how that thing is gonna work. So this one and this one, both of them, deselect that one on the edge. Okay, for that. So go 1, go 2, go 3. Okay, go on the inner ones. Around here, okay. And now turbo smooth with smoothing groups. Yeah, boy. And this one is a bit weird, so I'm guessing there's some weirdness going on with the smoothing groups over here, or a lack of geometry, which should be fixed like that. 2 extra edges in there, like that. And now turbo smooth on. That is fixed. Now we just need to add in some extra geometry up here. It's a bit way too low poly, but we finally got this thing to a point where it's usable. I think we're gonna have to add one more here, but yeah, whatever. All right, finally, freaking finally, we got this weird lamp thing that was supposed to be very, very quick to finish. It ended up taking a lot longer than I expected. So now I can just scale it inwards or scale it out or just leave it like this. Whatever the hell we want to do with it, but hell, it's made. All right, now just quickly add in some supporting geometry for the inner side, or the hanging thing. So go, all right, 13, it's fine. 13 by 1. Now go put this thing to 0, 0, and 0. Move this thing in the middle. Go to center, X, Y, and Z. Hey, oh, wait a second. Center drop. Ah, crap. This thing is not centered. Okay, so I'm going to move the pivot to 0, 0, 0. That way it's going to be centered inside over here. So now I can go ahead and go pivot to pivot, X, Y, and Z. This thing can move. And again, it's not going to be centered. Damn it. Okay. I'll move it by hand then. Move it up. So this is where it's going to hang from. Or what I could have done instead of doing this is just go in here, take this like so, detach as a clone, and out of this geometry just reuse it as the main cylinder. Plus I can remove those extra double edges that we have here, so remove. Alright, scale inwards, delete the bottom one, flip this one around so it's facing the up side, move it down now like so, and make it so the geometry up on this thing folds in. Scale in, up, and this is where it's going to connect to our wire. There we go. end. All right, cool. Finally got this thing done. Adding the extra edges to help hold that form. All right, hold that edge and that edge. Connect. No, chamfer. All right. Click it like so, and boom, turbo smooth. Get back this thing on. Turbo smooth on. All right, awesome. Now we got the top here. We got the bottom. So go gray. You go darker gray. And take a line for our line in here. Renderable, viewable. Move this thing to the 0, 0, and 0. And somehow this thing is not centered, which is kind of bugging me. Alright, move up on this side. There we go. Now move down. There we go. Now it's more or less centered. Increase the radius or the thickness, like so. All right, cool. Move up on the line. All right, cool. Give it a different color. Yeah, that's gonna work. All right, let's see what we. Ooh, okay. You guys have shared a lot of ideas. Damn. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. This is something I like. Stuff like this is fine. We can reuse this. I like these. I think these can be used when you want to record yourself, because these are what I call the spherical lights. Usually you see them on people that do live blogs. You can always see that round light in their, the glare in their eyes. But I was about to finish this thing, and on the bottom of this thing there is a what now? Yeah, ring lights. Right, so this thing doesn't actually have anything, which means that in here there is just a light, and the light is emitting downwards with no problems. Alright, so if I actually get this, what I'm going to do is just get this thing up to here. There's a copy. Rotate around 180. Pull it down. Alright, now I gotta. Whoa, what the? Really? Something really weird happening up with this model. Somehow it's not correctly aligned. Which, if this was any other model, it would have bugged me, but for now, I don't care. Alright, we got this light that we can use, so I'm just gonna save this thing, open up my micro apartment scene, and I want to test and see how this thing is gonna look in. Whoa, please don't crash. No, you're not gonna crash. You're fine. Alright, let's see. Micro apartment. Open up the default one, and now fan light. I'm going to merge this file in here. It's a bit too big, but whatever. fan and light, 01. Alright, remove the turbo smooth from that one, remove the turbo smooth from that one, get this one, attach it with the top one, fan light cap. Alright, now we apply the turbo smooth with 2, that's fine, we are not changing anything. Select the whole thing, group it up together, fan, light, remove. Alright, now put it up in here. Alright, cool. Now let's just scale this thing inwards until you get it to a point where it's actually acceptable size. We can tweak around with the length of this thing. We just want to get the fan size to be the right size. So maybe just a tad bit smaller like this. So now it's as big as the table. The height can really easily be modified. So I'm going to open up my group, get this thing, or get just a top element. Alright, so get this. Alright, top element, select. On the Y, I want to select this top edge from here and snap it. Select the top edge, damn it. There we go. That thing up to here, which means now this thing is snapped to the ceiling. And the isolate, select my line here. Since this thing is still a spline, I can just move it around to whatever height I need it to be, like this. All right, cool. All right, group, close the group. And we have our fan light up in this place. Locate it like this and leave it alone. All right, we fixed up this place. Now let's see what else we making next. That lamp light took me more time than I was expecting. All right, so there's no point in creating something like this. We already have this. Not bad, not bad. What do I think about what? This? We already have a bathroom. If I'm not mistaken, we got the, yeah, we got this place, we got the toilet seat. It's pretty similar. There's no point in spending more time just trying to recreate this thing. This is, yeah, this is not bad, but it's just box modeling. Oh, hello. Interesting. What do I think? Best IKEA space furniture to buy for a tiny home. Alright. Ooh, hello. I like this one. This one can be interesting. The reason why it can be interesting is when you light something like this, if you have a smaller radius on your lamps, you're going to get some really interesting shadows happening in the background. But we already got a light, so yeah. Alright, so next, what are we doing? Which one of these ideas are we going for? What do you guys want to do? Or if you have more ideas, just pull them up here, and we can see what we can do. No. Okay, when you're doing stuff like this, the easiest way to do it, if you're asking me how to do it, is go ahead and if you don't want to sculpt this thing, for example, if you can actually go ahead and do this thing and just try to extrude it and do it the normal way. But the more easier way would that you can do something like this is go on the internet, on the free sites that sell 3D models, go and look for game ready low poly models. And then when you get the low poly model, just make it so all of the polygons are their own smoothing groups, or just remove the smoothing groups. That will give you this type of a look, just so you don't have to spend the time creating this. All right, we have a new oh, hello, what do you think? Well, what do I think? Hey, why not? I actually like this. We don't have any clocks. That's a given. Now let's make some clocks. Yeah, because why not? Every house needs a clock. Plus, here is a great place for a clock. Right here. Just slap on a oh man. I was about to slap on. I was about to say slap on something that sounds like a clock, but doesn't mean a clock. Oh man, my brain goes to weird places. All right, which clock are we making? Are we making the this one? Are we making these grandfather looking clocks? Are we making this one? Are we making this one? Which one are we going for? So this one, the second to last, third one. All right, well, this is pretty simple. You'll see. Hold on. It shouldn't really take that. Okay, I'm not gonna say that again, because the last time I said this is pretty simple, we ended up spending almost 40 minutes fixing up geometry. So let's go ahead, say new. Okay, now let's go and do the seemingly easy clock, the third one, which is gonna be just a cylinder. Let's see if we can make this in under 10 minutes. All right, radius, no, 50 is way too much, so let's go with 15. Yeah, 30, yeah, let's go 20. 20, height 1. Go 16. There we go. All right, cool. So edit poly. Remove half of it. Go bridge. Go bridge. Remove those two, and crap, if I bridge them like this, they're gonna not work. Bridge. No. Okay. Or just cap and then connect. That always works. That works. That works. Yeah, this can get capped. Ring, connect, cap, and boom. We got this half done. Now, out of this, I want to select this whole thing, detach as a clone. Move it outwards like this. Okay, remove the middle part, make it a shell. On the other side, maybe 2 centimeters, none on this one. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. let's go with 3 maybe. Okay, and now 5 goes to like this, and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Make it as an instance, and the reason we're making an instance is that now I can just go in here on top of the shell, edit poly. Now I need to create this so it kind of goes in, so I'm going to connect this and go 1, 2, 8. All right, so no. Yeah, 15 should work. All right, now the reason why I'm making it this way is that I have a more control over how much I cap from the side. So I'm delete this. There we go, delete that. Now select this one, make it unique. Select these guys off like this, and select this. Make it unique. It's kind of weird looking clock, but whatever. And delete that. And this is the last one. Make it unique. Alright, delete that. What we're left with is something like this. Alright, awesome. Now, I'm going to attach all of these back together. Cap that. Just so I make it easier on me. Chamfer with a very small amount of maybe 0.1, or maybe even smaller, 0.05. All right, cool. Okay, 0.05 again for the chamfer. Make it a 50 here so we don't get those edges up there. Alright, now turbo smooth on should help with that. And we more or less get something similar to this as a base. Alright, no issues anywhere. So far so good. Let's not jinx it. And there is, from what I can see in here on the back side, there is like 2 planks holding this thing to the wall. Yeah. There's some weird stuff. That's gonna be interesting. Okay, so let's add in those extra planks. So box, maybe like this. So let's go with some rounded color numbers. So 235, height 1. That's fine. Go on the back side. Get this thing up, and not so much, so one more down here. Make this thing an instance, that's fine. And just from over here, just copy the chamfer, get this thing pasted here, which will in turn put it on the bottom one as well. Yeah. All right, so select everything, get this thing a darker color. All right, cool. So we just need to add in something for the dials. So make the dials really quickly. And the easiest way to get the dials is go from the center up to maybe something like this. All right. I don't want it to be radial. Rectangular is fine. Now I just need to really downsize this thing to 1 by 1. Well, you know what? Let's just do this. Remove the backside. So we're just left with 1 polygon. Now get this thing like this. Connect this and collapse this into 1. Alright, so now we have this, but I can see that I have this inner black piece in here. So let's just create that by selecting this whole thing and insetting it inwards. A small amount, not too much. Maybe 0.1. And I want to bevel this thing in. Well, actually, you know what? Before I bevel that thing, I'm going to put a shell on it, so I actually get some thickness out of it. So 0.2 maybe by 0. Yeah, this is going to work. So now, on top of the shell, get that thing reselected, and again, bevel. Just make sure it doesn't collapse on itself. Like this is going to be fine. Yeah, that'll work. Now for the bottom in here, what I want to do is select this thing. Since this will not be needed, I can delete this, get this whole thing and make it planar on the Y. There we go, like this. And I can even cap this thing if I want to, but really won't be needed because this thing is going to be left behind an actual holder in there. So there's this small cylinder holding that thing. Maybe something like this. There we go. So this is going to stand right in here. Edit poly. Remove. And okay. And collapse. All right, add in the extra geometry. Boom, 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 boom. And different color. Turbo smooth on. Yeah, that thing can hold that thing. And this one can be held effective with only. Snap it down to the bottom. Like this. Snap it in here. Now we move this thing behind it, like so. And now I can rotate this thing around to maybe something like this. As a copy this time around. And what we want to do is just make sure that this thing is actually usable, so the small arrow and the big arrow don't overlap. So I'm going to move this thing a bit to the front. So when they move, they can actually stand right next to each other without touching. So let's see how. All right, this is close enough. This thing can be moved to the back, like so. All right, cool. Now I'm gonna select this, move it downward because we need to have one that's gonna be smaller than the other one. All right, cool. Okay, do I want to put a turbo smooth on this thing, or can I just go with the chamfer on a very, very small amount? like this. Maybe go increase this thing to 25, maybe even more, 30, 50. Yeah, 50 gets rid of that thing, but then I lose all the details in here. So let's go 25, 15. Yeah, 15 is gonna work just fine for this thing. So chamfer, copy, and paste it here. Go select that thing, give it a different color. All right, cool. All right, so clocks are supposed to be set at 10:10. All right, 10, 10, whatever. There. Now for this thing, we can add in these guys as well. So let's go ahead and add those guys. So all I need for that is just one simple line, or it can go with a plane or whatever. So make it so it's like this. Let's go 3 centimeters by 0.5. Definitely 1 by 1 like this. That's fine. Put it in here. Make this thing as a shell so it has some thickness to it. This will work. But now, come to think of it, we might actually run into a bit of a problem here, because if I put it like this all the way up, I'm not gonna have enough of space to put it here. So I will see. What I'm going to do is affect my pivot, put it in there like that. And now I need to go and let's just do this calculator. Go 360 divided by 12. That means 30. All right, cool. So angle this thing at 30. As for copies, we need 11. Let's see how this thing is going to look. Not bad, not bad at all. I can probably just get this thing lower a bit. Maybe something like this. Select all of these guys. Oh, I just realized something I haven't saved at all. So this is a disaster waiting to happen. So let's just save. Lock. Now put a chamfer on it. So paste. There we go. So now 30. Go 11 copies. Wait a second. Damn it, if I go ahead and go back, it's gonna crash now. And delete all of them, and since I moved this thing down, I need to re-affect the pivot, get it back to here. Alright, 30 get. Now 11 copies. And boom! We got our own clock. Nice, nice, nice. All right, let's deselect everything else. Give this thing a white color, a whitish color, like so. All right, isolate them all and edit poly. Attach all of these together as one. And de-isolate, and yeah, get this thing, and these ones as well without the small parts. UV map on top of it, just use a box one. I don't want to unwrap this thing, so 100, oh, this is way too much for 100, so let's go 10 by 10 by 10. Yep, This should work with any sort of a texture. So save now. Let's open up our scene and see how this thing looks like when it's inside our scene. Okay, let's see what you guys have shared with me again. All right. Oh, what the hell is this? Birth of a 3D wood wall art. This is interesting. Plus, yeah, interesting. All right, now let's see. Clock. All right, import merge file. Where's my clock? It's right here. All right. Hey. We got our clock right here. Now it's standing right in between these two guys. Make it as a group. Clock. All right, cool. All right, we got the light, we got the clock. Let's see what else we're gonna put in our scene. All right, you got some lights, got some. What do you guys think? What should be built for our scene next? These are the abstract arts. These are not that hard to create, but they do take a bit of time, like cleaning up some geometry. You can get this thing from splines, and yeah. Tall wood and metal magazine rack. Okay. So, what are we making? You guys are the bosses now. You choose, and I'll make it. All right, that's fine. No comments? Really? All right. A mirror or something. Okay, let's see if we got any mirrors in here. Well, there is a mirror in here, but it's a box. Hi, here's a mirror. Let me see how this thing is made. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is the same geometry, just copied around on the whole thing. Alright, let me just check something. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, like I said, this is a simple mirror to build, but I don't really think it's gonna fit our apartment, especially because the type of like style that we're going for doesn't really fit this thing. And up here, when you go inside, this is where you're gonna have your coat hangers, so pretty much this place is gonna be more or less busy. Oh, Sarah just said it. Doesn't really fit the aesthetic of the apartment, so yeah. Plus, you cannot put it in. Well, you might be able to put it here, maybe, but definitely not in here. In here is where you have your coats hanging. I probably could make this thing a bit higher. And above that table here we have this light, so it's gonna look weird. You're gonna have your light coming from the bottom of your crotch. It's gonna look weird. Whoa! Stanley! My man! Now this is the first time I see something like this. Yeah. Yeah, this is the first donation I've ever seen. Stanley, how do you pronounce your name? Bone. Dude, where are you from? Stanley, I really want to know where you're from. Your last name is really hard to pronounce. Eggbontain? Eggbontain? Oh, and by the way, Stanley, welcome to the stream. This is the first time I've seen your name pop up. Yeah, I've actually been curious about how that thing works. I made it so it's like available to people, but I have no idea how you donate or anything. I think it's called super chats or something. So every time you like donate or something like that, you can see it up here, like Stanley just did. Stanley, where are you from, man? I'm actually curious to see where's your name from. Nah. Who's Mr. Beast? Anyways, now that Stanley just broke the ice, I actually want to ask if he wants he wants me to create something. Ah, so it's connected to YouTube Red. All right. Ah, Nigeria, but you live in the USE? You mean USA or UAE? Ah, the USA. Hi, man. Which part of the USA do you live in? Anyways, what was I doing before we started with the donation thing? I was building some sort of a... What was that, mirror? Yeah, mirror. Maryland. I haven't been to Maryland though. I've been to Maine, been to Boston, New York, Haven't been to Maryland. How's life in Maryland, man? Oh, wait, okay, I'm gonna get back to... Alright, what do you guys think about a mirror on this place? Do we want to put something in here just like to fill in? Just screw it. Let's go with something very simple then. While I'm talking to all of you, you can just create something like this maybe. There's a clone. Move up. All right. Boom. I'm actually originally from Macedonia, which is Eastern Europe, but I've lived I've moved around. I've lived in the US. I've lived in Europe, pretty much all across. So let's go show. Go to. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, you're not the first one. When I was in the US living there, people thought that I was from somewhere in the center of the US. They couldn't like place my accent, pretty much just like you just said. They couldn't do it. So don't worry about it. There we go. Alright, delete the backside. Come on, move. Alright, there we go. Alright, very, very simple thing. Detach this thing as the actual mirror. Base. Boom. Get this as the mirror base. Now make it a shell. So it does have a 0 by 0.1, very, very thin base for it, because we just need this thing to reflect. It doesn't have to do anything else. Just move it up, make this thing whiter like that, or hell, just make it all white. There we go. And this thing can have a chamfer on it, a 0.1. You might think that I'm American, but metric system all the way. Like I said, I did spend 5 years at engineering school, so yeah, metric was more or less what we used every time. Alright, so there we go. Now we have some like mirroring here to help with that thing. Alright, we got that mirror, at least a mirror. What are we doing next? Just get that thing and this thing, isolate, put them as a group, mirror. And deselect, boom, done. Alright, any ideas? Any requests? Maybe Stanley? Maybe you wanna ask for something? Hell, you just did the first donation. Hey, you know what? Last a week, I got the first guy that clicked on the join thing, the subscribe thing that gives you like a monthly, whatever it's called. And this week we got the first. Well, actually, this is the second donation. Maybe I'm wrong though. I think, yeah, I think that there was somebody on last stream that gave me a donation, something that was like in rupees or something. Yeah, they said it was like 50 cents or something, but I didn't care. It's just it popped up as the first donation, and now Stanley just broke it up with 20 bucks. So kudos to Stanley. I don't know, you should add a plant. Yeah, there was something like that. Rupees or some stuff like that. Well, we went from 20 rupees to $20. Not a bad turn of events. Okay, we got that thing. That's fun. That's fine. It's meh. All right. What are we doing next? Let's see. There was something about a kid. Oh, check Discord. When Valentino says check Discord, you check Discord. Let's see what has been posted. Please, can you do Stanley, is that you? Did you just want me to do this? Yes. All right. Let's see then. Stan just gave me an interesting model to do. So generally, this is what I'm going to tell you. When you're creating something like this, this is more or less abstract art. So what this means is, when you're creating something like this, you need to approach it as the guy who built this thing. So I'm pretty sure that whoever built this thing, he has some sort of a meaning for it. So for example, if I take a look at this thing, I can see that this is starting from here. So let's take the base. You start from here, then it goes up to this point. Now it twirls around from there. It goes back up underneath here. It twists and goes all the way up. So that's one of the forms. Let me just do this. Yeah, like this. So you see, it goes from up here, turns, goes in here, and probably either turns the point somewhere around here, or it continues upwards. Now the problem with modeling something like this without sufficient information is you're going to get into some problems. The problems being that, well, first of all, this thing, I'm not sure this is sculpture. It looks like this is a 3D model, because in here, this thing doesn't look very organically cut. In here, plus very, very sharp. So if this thing is marble, whoever made this thing spent a lot of time making it. But if this thing is just 3D, then it's just shapes. All right, let me show you, like, how you would tackle something like this. It's not going to be just this one in particular, but you'll see. All right, the vase. You like how you respect us women enough to be tiny bit scared. Well, Sarah, you see, I'm old enough to know two things in life. And those two things are about men and women. And this is like a life wisdom. And that life wisdom is, men are stupid and women are crazy. So if you know those two things, hey, everything is fine. Just be careful from the crazy ones. All right, let's go and try to tackle this. Now, starting from here, I'm gonna try to get this as one spline to follow along. So I'm gonna do something like this. I'm gonna start off with a line and go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make the turn about here and end it here. All right, we got this very weird looking spline. Nothing interesting, but now we're gonna do something like this. make it so it's smooth. All right, now rotate around 90. Move this to the back. I want to move this thing this way. Move it this way. Move it this way. And now, by seeing it in this manner, try to imagine this line that I'm trying to recreate. I'm not going to go ahead and just follow this very close to how it's done, but I want to give you the way of thinking when you're creating something like this. So you have this to start off. I've made the line to define where those turns are going to be. I'm going to move them just a bit upwards so you can see it better here. Maybe something like this. Move this thing in here. Move it even to the back a bit so you can see those turns better. Like this, and like this. Okay. There we go. Now it's in 3D. It's no longer a shape that's just drawn out in 2D. And now what we want to do is we want to create two more shapes, and those shapes are going to control what sort of geometry we have here. From what I can see, these look like we have this thing turning, and it's either a triangle or it's a quad. So let's go ahead and do something like this then. Let's go with the first of all, let's go with a triangle and see how that thing is gonna work. So for this, we're gonna go line 1, 2, 3. Actually gonna make it like this. So 4 sides, close the spline. And now I'm gonna have one like this. I'm gonna hold down shift, copy it over here, make 2 more copies as copies, and for this one I want to make this thing smaller in diameter or in size. Make this thing this way, and this way, or even hell, let's just make them come even closer. Almost sharp. There we go. All right, so having these guys in here, what I'm going to do here is take this, go over to my compound objects, choose the loft, and now go and click on get shape. Choose the one on the bottom. This will create this sort of a geometry, as you can see here. Now, the thing here is we want to have a way of making a transition from this bottom one to this one, and finally down to this one. So what I'm going to do is go down to path, maybe click on 50. Which this thing is going to do is when you click on 50, you have this yellow spot. You see where it's moving? Right here. If I go to, like, let's go with 40, maybe 40, and now when you're at 40, click on get shape again, click on the second one. This will make it so that it's gradually turning from the original to this one, and now go down to maybe 65. Again, this will move that yellow spot to 65, and click shape again, click on this thing, and this will transfer it over to the other shape. So as you can see now, we started off from the basics here, and it's slowly turning over to this shape. As you can see here, it's finishing up with something like this. And the great thing about it is that if you move any of these, this will affect this shape. Again, it will affect this shape. So depending on how you want to control this, it's very organic to control. There we go. Let me add this thing as such. So now all you have to do in here is control the way this well, this art thing is made by just controlling how these few splines look like. And just like Ahmed just asked, when you create something like this, if you go down to surface parameters, you have generate material IDs, use shape IDs, and you can apply mapping. So this thing will apply UV maps for it. There you go. And here's another thing you need to just remember when you're using Loft. When you're creating shapes, make sure you have the same number of vertices, because if you have a different type of vertices or the different number of vertices, you might run into some issues. And when you're creating stuff like this, always in the skin parameters, you can choose the number of steps in here. There we go, to control how many you're gonna have, and the path steps. The path steps will control something like this. And now, if you want to use Turbo Smooth on this, just use a low poly version of this. Put an edit poly on top. Now select this, make it flat on the Y, maybe like this, so it starts from here. That is fine up there, and add in some extra geometry to help hold that form. There we go. 1, 2, 3, maybe down here as well. Drop in one up here, Turbo Smooth on, and that will give you this look like you have in your scene. So if you compare this with something like this, you're gonna see that the way that this thing was made is exactly like this, but they had particular lines to follow. But everything else is just this. You have that shape on the bottom, and that shape is following and curving onto a line like that. So if you know how this thing was made, or you know where the shapes are, you shouldn't have any problems with this. All right. Oh, and by the way, if you want to see how this thing works more in detail, just go ahead on my channel. There is a video, I think it was one of the first videos that I created, and it kind of covers this topic in detail, and that is creating roads with the Loft modifier. I think it was, maybe it was the first video that I created. Just go over on my channel, check the first video. It should be something with Loft and roads. Hell, I'm gonna go and just check it on my own. Give me a sec. Let me go over to my channel. Videos. Holy crap, I've created a lot of videos. All right. Apparently, I have created a lot of videos. Yeah, it's called Creating Roads in 3ds Max with the Loft compound. It was made 4 years ago. It has 12,000 views, so you can easily find it. All right, now having made that, where were we? We were creating something. Okay, so for this thing, what is this? Who made this? Valentina, of course. Of course it was Valentina. What is this? Yeah, no, thank you, Stanley. You broke the ice, man. Tell me how it goes, though. Oh, yeah. If you, like, get stuck on something, hit me up on the Discord. I'll see if I can help you up. Alright, for this one, what is this? Valentine, what the hell did you make? Why are you making me do this? So, alright. And let's just make me one of these guys. Eh. I got 25 minutes left to create something. If I get into organic stuff. By the way, whatever you guys post in here, I'll use it up as a template to create some tutorials. Lately, I've actually held back on the tutorials because I want to finally finish up the premium lighting tutorial that I've been working on. But since that thing is slowly coming to an end, I'm gonna do quite a bit of tutorials coming in the upcoming weeks. So everything that you guys are posting here, I'm gonna use as an idea to make some tutorials. So hit me up with one more model that you guys want to create for the stream. Come on, something that we can reuse. There was something about a kitchen somewhere. Where's the kitchen thing? Was it this one? Nah, these are just boxes. I don't want to build boxes anymore. Come on, anybody's got any ideas? What is this? Oh, this is a nice hanger. Alright, since we got no more fun ideas in there, I'm gonna go ahead and create some of the ones that you actually did post here. What am I missing in here? So I got this light fixture. I got that clock. Got some lamps in there. Ooh, in here I might add something. Well, hell, I can put some books up here. I know that I have a tutorial about how to make some books, so I can use those models because I can reference people to where to build that thing. So that's fine. In here, you know what, this coat hanger is fine and all, but I might make something like what I'm seeing in here, which is this thing, or make something like this. Alright, let's make something like this. I like this because it has some storage on the bottom, some stuff here. Alright, let's just do this. This shouldn't take too long. Alright, so new, don't save. ZZ, so G, T, G, G. Alright, so we're going for something like this, which means in here I have this V shape, really easy to create. We have this thing, again, really easy to create. Let's make it. So go from the left and choose a plane to start off and go with something like, oh, way too much. So let's go with the height of, how long, oh, how far, I don't know, 60 should be enough, and 40. Hey Shukrat, welcome to the stream, dude. Alright, boom boom boom. We got this thing going on like this. Actually, just so it's easier for me to do it, what I can do here, instead of a plane, I can go in, create a shape out of this thing, a linear one, and now that I have a shape, just select these guys, fillet them around until I get this. Yeah, no worries, dude. We're still here. Boom. Move these things a bit apart. Make them corners. Make these corners. All right. Okay, like this should be enough. What I'm just trying to do is get this frame here. So with that thing in there. Next thing I need is I want to have that V shape here. And the V shape is again going to be easy to create. The way that I'm going to do it is just click on the plane. This will control where that thing is going to be, like so. I don't want it this low, it's probably going to be this height. And now on this side, I'm going to go take this as an edit poly, move it around on to this side, like so. Maybe up to about somewhere here. Make it asymmetrical on the X or the Z axis in this case. Flip it around until we get this V shape, like so. All right. Edit poly. So now it's on the inner side. It really doesn't matter because I just want to use this thing as a template. So now select this and we want to create, how many do we have? Hey Jeff, welcome back, dude. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these ribs. So connect and go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Alright, got the ribs, the 8 ribs. Now create the shape. Linear ones, that's fine. And Control I to get the inverted selection and create a shape out of this thing. Make it a linear one again and delete. So what we're left with is just this thing. Now for this thing, what we want to do is again enable and render in viewport, make it a radial one. The thing about when they meet at a corner is that they don't actually meet really well. So, but in this case, it's not going to be a problem, mainly for one reason, that this bottom portion here, or this bottom piece, is not exactly welded, it's above right here. So that's a happy coincidence for us. So I'm going to select this whole edge, move it out to about so. Alright, delete that thing, move it outwards as such. Alright, cool. Now, select that one, delete that one, delete that one. I just want to get rid of all the extra edges that we have here. That's fine. Now for the editable spline though, what I want to do here, nope. Ah, damn it. Whatever. Alright, for this one, I want to fill it to about 1.55. Now the question is, when I go up here, is it gonna break it now? Yep, it is. Damn it. Okay. Fine. I'm just gonna select this thing, move it up, remove all of these like so, and now I can just select this piece, fill it around till I get it to, let's just go on round number by 2. like that. So when I do this, now it's gonna have that nice turn. And let's do the same thing for the corners here as well. Well, snap, let's just get rid of all of these. So delete, and now select all of these, fill it for 2 centimeters. And there we go. Enabling viewport renderer, and we got this nice looking thing. And since we are using straight fillet with 2 centimeters, we can get it across on this side as well. So now here it's thickness of 1.3. Let's do the same thing over here. Radial 1.3. Enable and render a viewport. This thing now can move a bit lower. Like this. Same thing on this side. All right, select everything. My gray color, that's fine. Ooh, 1.3 should it looks way too big. So let's go to 0.5 then. Yeah, much better. All right, cool. Since we got that thing, let's give this thing a radial again of 1. So this is about double. This should get to the close to the edge like this. All right, awesome. All right, gotta get some of my shapes here that are looking a bit out of proportion, so try to fix those like this. All right, much better. Move it over on to this side. Copy it around and move it to about there. Do we want this thing to proceed outward that much? No, we don't. So we just get this thing to about there. Check this side as well. To about there. And boom. We got the frame for this thing all made up. Like so. We just need to create the underlying geometry for this thing, for the upper part. So get the plane. Alright, so let's make it 30 by 75. I like round numbers. 0, 0. Oh no. Move this thing up. Now make it shell. The shell should maybe have like 2 or 3 centimeters. Yeah, this should look nice. Hit it with chamfer on the 0.1. No, okay. So we just need, from what I can see in here, there's some underlying metal pieces that are holding this thing. So let's add that. The underlying should probably be something like maybe a rectangle going from there to there, and it probably should touch the sides. There go, it's touching it up there. I want to get the corner radiuses in, like so. Alright, cool. Rotatable spline. Now let's see if those things are touching well enough. No, they're not, so move them up until they touch. Yep, now they're touching the sides. Are they touching it this way? No, they're not, but they should. There you go, now they're touching. Let me just make it so it's actually like this. There we go. Now I know that it's in line with this geometry. In line with this geometry, and now I know for a fact that it's on the same spot. Alright, so for this I'm going to go with something in between this thickness of, what was it? Was it 0.5? Yeah, 0.5, and this thing is 1. So I want to have this thing somewhere in the middle, so let's go 0.75 for thickness. There we go. Alright, 0.75, and one in there, one in there. Okay, those are fine, and I just need to make sure that they're proceeding all the way through. Like that. Move them down a bit, like so. And now I just want to get this thing so I'm sure that it overhangs. Plain shell, just add it probably on top of the shell. Overhangs on top of here. Oh. Alright, so make sure it doesn't do that. I want to make sure that this thing does not clip. So let's make it like this then. First, go in, edit poly, all the way across to here. And all the way across to here. Having done that, now when I isolate, I'm gonna pull it back a bit so it's not clipping through the legs, like this. Same thing on this side. There we go. Edit poly, and boom, we got this thing done. Alright, so great color. Probably should have made this thing, the lower part, a bit smaller, because now it's not very practical because this thing is too low. But whatever, we can just kind of raise it up. And then we would, you know what? I'm happy with how this thing looks. For now, if we need to change it, we can just change it. So I'm going to call this wire holder, table, whatever. Looking at this thing, the only thing that I'm missing is kind of the small patches in the bottom here, so let's just add those. Or better yet, it's such a small detail, won't really be seen. So let me just add this thing to my scene. The good question is, where the hell are we going to put this thing? maybe here. Which means that this whole thing is going to have to go a bit higher. So you're going to put this thing, get your coats up to this height. Yeah, it's going to work here. Open up this, and get my wire table. March the file, put it in there. Alright, so edit poly, edit poly, edit poly. I'm gonna have an edit poly and everything. Wire table 01. Wire table 02. '03 and 04. And actually the top one is 05. Group. Wire table. Okay, this cannot stay here because when this door opens up, well, let's just test it and see. Like pivot only, get this thing to snap to there. Really? There we go. So now, when this door opens up, well, what do you know? It does not hit it. Alright. Hell, it can stay there. Kind of looks weird, but whatever. It works. All right. Well, we created that thing, and just in time. We are just hitting the 2-hour mark. All right. Today was a really interesting stream. We had some really unexpected, weird, long times on this thing, but we created it. So we have this nice lamp. We created this clock. We created this thing over here. And generally we created this thing as well, just small filler things. But we also got the first donation, which was Stanley. So the man of the match is Stanley, and the people that helped a lot with their ideas, like generally it's Sarah and Valentina. We also got some ideas coming from, who was it? Let's see who else would, get some love here. All right, we got this thing coming from Sarah. Ahmed gave us some ideas, some nice ideas for lighting. Actually, we did not use him. Azmat gave us some nice ideas for interiors. We got some really cool ideas in here. I actually really like this one, and this one is very cool. I'm not gonna lie, the antler thing. And the real reason why I actually like this is I've actually done something like this way back when I was working on a mountain type of a building. They had stuff like that. It was really fun to work. All right. Anyways, okay, since we've been going on for quite a while, and it's Valentine's Day, so you guys can go and spend some time with your significant other if you have one. And if you don't have one, now would be a great time to go out and get yourself one. So I'd like to thank everybody that was with me. Like always, it was a pleasure. It was fun for me as well. I would like to thank you all for being with me, for indulging my needs for fun, and I will see you all on the next stream, where we will probably start off on a new theme. And I'm gonna create a well, I'm gonna create a post on the, what's it called, the community post, and I'm gonna see what you guys think about our next topic and where you guys want to go with the live streams. So up until then, I would like to say, everybody have fun, and I will see you all in the next stream. Peace.